What's up, dudes? It's now season 5 of this New Mexico State rebuild. We're in the preseason right now. We're checking out our goals for the season and what the preseason rankings are looking like. So, as you can see, our AD wants us to win another 3 games. I think we can do that this year. I like him to get a little ambitious, start upping that win expectation. I say we have a tougher schedule than we did last year. You know, we got 2 preseason top 25 teams in Boise State and Wisconsin. But I mean, we've played all these teams before. We kind of know what to expect from them now. So anyways, our booster goals. First guy, he wants us to hold at least one of our opponents to 21 points or fewer. With how our defense has been playing at the tail end of the season, that should be achievable. The another goal is 17 rushing touchdowns. I think we can do that. And then convert a minimum of 35% on third downs. Here's what our roster is looking like right now. We got Izzy under helm. He's 85 overall. That should be good enough to get himself drafted, maybe in like a later round, but we'll see. That's what we're going to do after Izzy's done. That worries me. Maybe we'll need to look for another quarterback in the transfer portal because I don't think the next guy up is really going to be good enough next year. We got our running back, Sawyer Dean. He's going to be leading the show. It's our first 80 overall running back. As crazy as that is to say. But we got him and Tyson Parada leading the show. I think I'll have Carlos Connor, come in for a few touches every now and then. And then wide receiver, we got Fernando Clay, our guy, leading the show. He's already 80 overall. I'm expecting him to have a big season and continue to build and build. And by the time he's a senior, he'll be a freaking monster. The rest of our wide receivers are looking pretty good. I think we got a good depth. And the tight ends are kind of, same old. Corbin Randall should be pretty good though. And then we'll have Casey Broadnax, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. He'll be the backup. Offensive line is looking a little rough, not gonna lie. Might be another bad year for our offensive line. But we got Tristan Bolden, little homegrown talent. The thing about our roster right now is that we're really young. Not this year, but next year we should be pretty damn good. And kickers, we got Jace Isaac. His kick power still really isn't where I want it to be. Then again, none of the other guys, his kick power is really all that good. If we're approaching the red zone and it's 4th down, we're probably gonna have to go for it more often than not. So I'm just not sure he's gonna be able to make some of those longer kicks, maybe 40 yards out. And defensive line, we don't really have like a standout guy like we did past few years, but we got some good depth, I would say. Then linebacker, we got Trent Franklin, 85 overall, leading the helm. Then we got Kai Mobley, still close to being 80 overall, but again, I think our linebackers are looking pretty good depth-wise. Same goes for our cornerbacks, looking pretty decent. And then safeties, we got a few good rotational pieces. So let's take a look at the rankings right now. Nothing too far out of the ordinary. We got Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Clemson rounding out the top 5. In Florida, Michigan, Oregon, South Carolina, Penn State, Texas A&M, Duke at 12, Iowa, Washington, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Texas, USC at 18, Northwestern at 19, interesting, Auburn, Kentucky, Baylor, Tulane, Arkansas, and Boise State. So we got a few guys who are probably new to the top 25, but nothing too far out of the ordinary. And then there's us, probably right there, 113. It's usually where we find ourselves year after year. So for my players, pretty much all of them except for maybe 2 or 3 are going to get playing time. So we know about Hayden Benson. He's a new quarterback at New Mexico. He's going to be the starter. What I didn't realize was that Austin Zerbo transferred to ECU. I'm not sure why, because he had a pretty good season for Virginia Tech. Maybe he wasn't all that happy with his playing time. He wanted a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, Virginia Tech was winning. He was contributing to a winning team. I probably would have stayed if I were him. This year, we'll definitely have some guys getting drafted, I would say. Yeah, I think a guy like Clarence Exum, Roman Peeler, I think Simone Eddy, they're still kind of buried in the depth charts. Deion Indra, 72, not going to get a lot of playing time. But for the most part, a lot of my players are going to get some playing time. So recruiting-wise, like I said before, we have a lot of juniors on our team. Not a whole lot of seniors, but we still have a lot of holes to fill, I would say. We need just a little bit of everything. But it looks like linebackers, defensive line, offensive line are our biggest holes right now. Again, no 4-stars this year, but we do have a lot of guys in the top 1,000. No guys in the top 300 or anything. So we're gonna be doing our best. We got holes to fill, but nothing's really too urgent, I would say. So first game against this New Mexico team with Hayden Benson running the show. This team wants to air it out, so we'll be seeing a lot of Benson today. Both teams struggle to get anything going on offense in the first. Izzy seems to be having another slow start to the season like he did last year. That is until he finds Ezekiel Garrison, our tight end turned wide receiver, for a 9-yard score late in the first. New Mexico's very next play, Hayden Benson throws a pick six to our safety, Jasper Singh, to quickly turn this into a 14-0 game. Then New Mexico's first play after that, Benson gets sacked for 5 yards, and when it rains, it surely does pour. Late in the second, we score again with a 5-yard rush from Sawyer Dean to make it 21-0. New Mexico tries to get on board before halftime, but Hayden Benson throws another pick. So they head to the locker room down 21 and with a big old goose egg on the board. I think our running back Sawyer Dean felt kind of bad for New Mexico because our first play out of halftime, he coughs the ball up and the Lobos get the ball on the 16. A few plays later, Hayden tosses his first touchdown. I don't know what they cooked up in the locker room at halftime, but they marched down the field their next possession and get themselves a field goal to cut the deficit to 11. Next thing we know, we're muffing a punt and letting them score again. We really like to play with our food over here in New Mexico State. Luckily for our guy Tyson Parada, who muffed that punt, he redeems himself with a 60-yard run, which sets up Carlos Conner for an 8-yard score. Then Hayden tosses his third interception and sets us up for another easy score. New Mexico will score again, but we walk away with a 35-24 victory. Hayden had an up and down game, but he was his team's only option since they had 10 total rush yards. Our Sawyer Dean had a decent debut, minus that fumble, and Fernando Clay had a pretty good game too. I just wish that Izzy had played a little bit better. Next we got our game against Boise State, who's ranked number 23 right now. They just got this transfer quarterback from Notre Dame, who was a former number 3 quarterback in his class, and he seems like a stud. Boise's defense this year isn't off to the best start, so we're going to look to take advantage of that. Our first drive gets off to a great start, but our kicker doesn't have the leg to get those from 41. Boise takes advantage and scores with a little scramble from their quarterback. This would become a little bit of an issue throughout the game. Containing their quarterback through the air proved far easier than containing him on the ground. A 10-yard scramble sets them up at the 1 for an easy score just a play later. This one was looking bleak through most of this game. It was 17-0 at halftime, and it was 24-0 late in the third before we finally scored. Izzy finds Tyson Alexis for 9 yards. Boise would respond with a field goal, and it was 27-7 heading into the fourth. I think a switch or something must have been flipped when we crossed into the fourth because the Aggies started turning up. We got a quick touchdown. Let Boise get one back. Izzy links up with Alexis for another score with 6 minutes left. We get a stop. We get another stop. Tyson Parada returns a punt for a touchdown to cut the lead to 6. Then we convert an onside kick. We got 2 minutes and 2 timeouts left, which is all we need to win this thing. Izzy scrambles to put us inside the 15, then finds Fernando Clay to put us on the 1, and all we have to do is hand it off and let our running back do the rest. We knock off number 23 Boise State in the last minute. It's always a thriller when we play them. We score 21 unanswered, 28 points in the fourth quarter, 400 yards from Izzy, 14 receptions and 141 yards from Fernando Clay. That's 2 great games in a row now. Tyson Alexis also had a great game, 2 clutch touchdowns when we needed them the most. Next we got Fresno State, a team we always seem to struggle with. They have a great pass defense through 2 games, so this one might be a struggle as well. Izzy throws a pick on the first drive, but Fresno only gets a field goal out of it. Our second drive goes a little bit better though. We get all the way down inside the 5 and get a field goal to tie it at 3. Then Fresno marches down and gets an easy touchdown. For the second game in a row, our offense gets off to a slow start. I wish there was a rhyme or reason for this, but it's like our boys don't bother to show up till the second half, like Tyson Parada. He busts open a kick return for 52 yards right out of halftime. Where was this in the first half, dude? We capitalize off this great field position and cut Fresno's lead to 3. We force a fumble on their own 35 and get great field position once again, but fortunately we can't capitalize because we give up a big sack on 3rd down. Both teams then play a little game of punt tennis. You know what I mean? Punting back and forth, back and forth. We do that for the rest of the second half. That is until we break the stalemate with a 6-yard touchdown from Tyson Parada, giving us a 17-13 lead. Right when our defense needed to come in clutch, they allow a touchdown with 33 seconds left in the game. The offense does its best to get down the field quick. We're on the 34 with 17 seconds left, which is outside field goal range for our kicker. We have to get closer, but we take a sack and time expires. I'll never quite know what happened here because we had a timeout to use, so we could have gotten off another play. I guess Izzy was trying to extend the play and just ran out the clock. So we take our first loss of the season. It was a hard-fought game. We sacked the quarterback 6 times. Alexander Tellez had 4 of those. Fernando Clay added another 10 catches and 120 yards to his stat line. Despite the loss, we completed one of our booster goals of holding an opponent under 21 points. So that's an extra million and some change in our pockets. Up next against Colorado State, I kind of knew early on that we were going to win this game. They had no answer for us on either side of the ball. They couldn't even convert after we muffed the punt on our own 37. They managed to get a field goal at the end of the first half to put some points on the board, but it would hardly matter. We'd win this one 35-10. Fernando Clay had another productive game and gets his first touchdown, and Sawyer Dean gets his first 100 rushing yard game of the season. That was the 3rd win of the season, so we've already completed our 80s goal, but obviously we're not going to stop there. I know the boys got plenty more wins left in them. And now we got UConn sitting at 2-2. Chris Morris is having a decent season so far. No touchdowns though. They have a 73 overall quarterback, but he wasn't playing like it in this game. He was dishing out big passes left and right. He connects with the receiver for 16 yards to put the first points of the game on the board. Then he brings his team down to the 1 for an easy score to make it 14-0. So clearly he's playing well above his overall. We managed to get a field goal towards the end of the first half and get another chance to cut the lead, but our wide receiver fumbles the ball and that takes us to halftime. It's 14-3 heading into the second half. We get another field goal to start the third, but we keep letting this UConn quarterback cook us. They respond with a field goal of their own. Our next drive, we finally get a touchdown and cut the lead to 4. But UConn strings together another great drive and scores. I decided to turn up the heat because with 12 minutes left in the game, we need touchdowns now, not field goals. We convert a big 4th and 1 on their 25 just to kick a field goal a few plays later. Their next possession, they open up with a sequence of 26, a 13, and 11-yard plays, and they're already on our 25. We get a huge sack from linebacker Douglas Sylvester to put them out of field goal range. We get the ball back with 6 minutes left. We march down the field, and Izzy finds Fernando Clay for 4 yards. We need a 2-pointer to tie it up, but Izzy can't make the connection. 4 minutes left though, still plenty of time to get a stop and a field goal. We let up a 20-yard pass, but then we get another clutch sack. Less than 2 minutes left and 2 timeouts. We've been in this position before. Let's go win this thing. We march down the field and Izzy finds Fernando for 13 to put us in the red zone. UConn stops us from advancing further, but we're close enough to get a field goal. But did we leave too much time on the clock though? 57 seconds is more than enough. UConn unleashes the Hail Mary, but we snag it out of the air to ice the game away. Fernando Clay with another stellar game. Dude, he's been on a tear to begin the season. Best wide receiver in college football, maybe? I don't know. Chris Morris also had a good game. He had a couple good runs to get us sweating a little bit. 6th game of the season, we got a home game against number 15 Wisconsin. They got a few of my players like running back Quentin Jones, who's doing a little bit of everything for the Badgers, linebacker Vinny Kolomack, and safety Simone Eddy, who's buried in the depth chart. They're great at passing the ball, but pretty poor at defending it too. First play, we get sacked on a screenplay. So this drive is pretty much done before it can begin. Then it takes Wisconsin 7 plays to find the end zone with a 3-yard run from Quentin Jones. It's looking like we're in for a long one today. Our second drive looks promising until Izzy tosses a pick trying to make a home run play. I like the aggressiveness, but we can't make mistakes against a team like this, especially when they can march down the field and score with ease. Jones gets his second touchdown, then he gets his third at the start of the second quarter. It's looking bleak, then Tyson Parada pops off for a 50-yard score, then we get a field goal a drive later, and another one right before halftime to make it 24-13. But those would be our last points for a while. Our offense went cold, and Wisconsin would crack this one wide open. I said in the fourth quarter, where we got another touchdown, but it didn't matter. We lose this one 45-20. We were just no match for this team. Quentin Jones would finish with 4 rushing touchdowns, and Vinny would lead the defense with 6 tackles. Fernando Clay's hot start has cooled off, finishing with just 5 catches and 36 yards. Alright, so we're halfway through the season. We're going to see how things are going so far, like recruiting-wise and around the league. See who the stat leaders are, who's in the top 25, and see who's in the running for like the Heisman and stuff. So we're sitting at a pretty 4-2, 3-1 after that loss against Wisconsin. Look at the rest of our schedule. I think we should realistically maybe win like another 3 of these games. I think Washington State we always struggle with. San Diego State's always hit or miss. Utah State, they don't look that good this year, but you never know. Virginia looks pretty good. Could be another game like Wisconsin where we get blown out. Then Sacramento State and Oregon State, not too worried about. Oregon State can kind of go either way. Sacramento State, I expect us to win that game. So we could be looking at another 7-5 season, which is okay. We're bowl eligible. Right now, we're sitting at a pretty 4th place in the conference. And for the booster goals, we've already completed one of them. We still need 5 more rushing touchdowns to complete this one. And for this last goal, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. We got to convert a minimum of 35% of third downs. We're sitting at 43%. Okay, top 25 rankings. We got Ohio State, Alabama, Penn State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Baylor at 7, Oregon at 8, Florida, Clemson, Georgia, Texas A&M, Nebraska, Wisconsin at 14. Looks like the win against us didn't really do much for them in the standings. Then we got Arizona at 15, Virginia Tech, Washington, Kentucky, Duke, Air Force, Oklahoma State, Boise State, UCF, Syracuse, and Stanford at 25. So where are we? We're in a pretty good spot. We're sitting at 72, top 75, top 3/4 of the league. That's not too bad considering where we've been in the past. For all the award races, we don't have any of our guys in the mix. CC York, though, he's number 4 in the Heisman standings, having a pretty good season so far. This Washington State running back, I don't expect him to stay in his spot. I mean, he's having a good season, but I feel like it's definitely a quarterback-friendly award. But that means he's also the top of the Pac-12 Player of the Year. We got Fernando Clay in there, who's above Izzy Bennett, which isn't too surprising. Fernando Clay's been on a tear this season. Easily probably one of the best wide receivers. Could possibly be in the running for an All-American spot. Maybe. At this rate, I wouldn't be too surprised. Izzy, I mean, he's been good. He's been serviceable, I would say. I kind of expected him to take a little step this year. But, I mean, we're winning games. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's because of him. Yeah, I would like Izzy to play a little bit better, but he hasn't been hurting us, I would say. He hasn't been hurting us. He was kind of last year, but this year he's been good. And we got Sawyer Dean, our transfer running back, who's also in the mix. And we could have a possible freshman of the year, Tyson Alexis, wide receiver. And then somehow we have an OL in here, which I think that's the only way an OL can ever win an award. We got a couple guys who are in the mix for Defensive Player of the Year for the Pac-12. A couple defensive linemen. So we'll see how all that shakes out at the end of the year. But then let's go to our stat leaderboards. Passing yards, Hayden Benson. He's been having a really strong season for New Mexico, I guess. Strong in New Mexico standards. He's just been passing the ball a lot. Got a lot of pass yards. Got a lot of touchdowns. Also a lot of interceptions. Sawyer Dean tied for 3rd on rushing touchdowns. That's the kind of benefit of having a power back, is when you get in the red zone, you can just hand it off to him and he'll just bulldoze his way in. Then we got CC York also. He is tied for 4th for passing touchdowns. Like I said, having a good season. Fernando Clay is 2nd in receiving yards. We got defensive lineman Alexander Tellez tied for 3rd in sacks. So we're having a lot of guys get their names in there, get some national recognition. Fernando Clay, he's by far the leader in receptions, and it's not even close. He is ahead by 17 catches. I mean, he's averaging, I think, like 10 a game so far. Yeah, 6 games played, 61 receptions. So for the rest of my created players, Blake Palmer having a decent season, I guess. A couple touchdowns in the year. He's getting there on the air too. Shane Longley, 35 tackles, 15 for a loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Zenon Free, safety for Michigan, getting in there a little bit, 3 tackles, 2 pass deflections. Von Nicholas, linebacker for Ohio State. I guess hasn't really been playing a lot, only 2 games on the year. Clarence Exum, still 1 game played, but nothing. No stats recorded. Khalil Ado, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Isaiah Whittington, 13 tackles, 1 for a loss. No interceptions just yet. Faf Sasser for Louisiana, 18 tackles, 2 for a loss, and 1 interception. We got Zay Winston, 9 receptions, 134 yards, No touchdowns, though. Austin Zerbo, still really confused on why he transferred out of Virginia Tech. Seemed like he had a good thing going there, but only 19 tackles, 1 interception. So I guess he is playing pretty well, but I think he's playing also for a worse team. How is ECU doing this year? They're 1-4. Yeah, Virginia Tech is nationally ranked. Not sure why he did that, but just goes to show grass isn't always greener. Then Vinny Kolomack, 24 tackles, 3 for a loss. Owen Peeler didn't realize he was getting his playing time, but he's got 14 tackles, 3 for a loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. Then Noel Tucker, kind of having a down year from last year, but 16 tackles, 4 for a loss. Then Hayden Benson, we went over him earlier, 1,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, taking a lot of sacks though, 28 sacks. Then you got Boyd Delaney, also having a great year, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only 8 sacks. Yeah, Syracuse is nationally ranked 3-2. They're having a good year. Jordy Stiff getting some playing time in there, 11 receptions, 160 yards. Wade Terrell for Virginia, 29 tackles, 8 for a loss, 3 sacks. Simone Eddy only got in there 1 game, no stats recorded just yet. Orlando King, 9 tackles, 1 touchdown. I think that was for a fumble recovery, but yeah, he's got a score on the year. Then Winston Hickson, 43 receptions out of 49 targets. That's pretty good efficiency, but nearly 400 yards, only 1 touchdown though. Preston Silk, 23 receptions, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Then we got Quentin Jones, 88 carries, nearly 300 yards, 7 touchdowns. He scored 4 against us. That's crazy, but all from like within 5 yards. Griffin Young, 19 receptions, 22 targets, 224 yards, and 1 touchdown. Okaro Rhodes, only 4 tackles. Moses Douglas, 8 tackles, 1 pass deflection. Is Old Dominion doing any better? They are 3-3, so a little bit. Anything is better than a 1-11 season though. We got Chris Devos, who is dealing with another injury. I think this isn't his first time dealing with the injury. Yeah, he has a plethora of injuries. He's already been injured twice this year. That's crazy. Anyways, Chris is dealing with that injury. His production just keeps going down and down year after year. Really peaked his freshman year. You hate to see that. Then we got Chris Morris, 100 carries, 500 yards, no touchdowns on the year though. And then CC York, we went over him, having a great season. Could win the Heisman potentially. We shall see. Kai Mobley, 19 tackles, 4 pass deflections. He's not one of my players, but Hector Farley, the guy who transferred out, he's having a decent season. We probably could have used him, but whatever. Then JD Mathis, 17 receptions, 200 yards. No touchdowns on the year. I swear, tight ends just don't get theirs in this game. I don't know why, but it just happens. And then Hunter Doobie having another weird season for Georgia. 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think he's only thrown the ball like 20 times a game. It seems like 19-13, 15-25, 17-21. Like he was 6-10 against Illinois. I think Georgia really is just not utilizing him well. But all right, anyways, we're in a bye week, so we just got recruiting. So I'll go over recruiting, how it's going so far. We're hanging in there for a lot of our battles, but there's still a lot of work to do. Part of the struggle is that we have so many holes that we need to fill, but we don't have the best recruiters. It's that we can't really successfully get all the guys that we really need to fill all the holes that we have. So I really have to prioritize like what I need versus like what I want. Like I may want this really good wide receiver, but I kind of need the offensive lineman. So it's like that balancing act I got to do. And other teams are just able to do more. A lot of these guys that we're recruiting seem like they want to go to teams more so than us. That's why hitting on these recruiting visits is really key for us because it adds a nice little boost that we definitely need. So we got a good crop of quarterbacks that we're looking at. I was looking at Emmanuel Berry, but Indiana kind of took off. So I switched gears and I'm going for Keith Corbin, another dual threat quarterback. So, I mean, once Izzy graduates, we'll have 3 dual threat quarterbacks on our roster, which I'm not complaining. Then maybe we could probably go back to the pistol offense. We'll see. No complaints. I might still try to look for a quarterback in the transfer portal, but if there is none there or they're asking for too much, like NIL wise, then I might just have to bite the bullet and stick with one of the guys I got. For running backs, we're pretty clear in the lead for Trent Mills, a power back. So for wide receivers, we're in the mix for a lot of these wide receivers. I kind of want this Johnny Masood guy, but it looks like we're going to lose out to him to Louisiana Monroe. Why he wants to go there, I don't know, but we could land Christian Clements, who is a 72 overall, could start right away. And we'll probably get this guy Emma Gonzalez. It looks like he can develop. We're in the clear favor for him, so I'm not going to waste points on him. Tight ends are really trying to go for this guy named Willie Little. Northern Illinois is right in our tails, so we got to keep the pressure up on him. An offensive lineman, I'm looking at this JUCO guy who can, you know, he's JUCO, so he can start right away. But our offensive line right now is not good, so I'll take any help that I can get. Defensive lineman, I really want this guy, Trenton Blevins. He's a gem. We could definitely use him. If we lose out to a prospect from New Mexico, then, I mean, that's on him. If he wants to lose all 4 years of his college career, that's on him. For linebackers, I was trying to gun for the Sean Salas guy, but we fell too far behind, and I was like, I'm not gonna burn any more resources on him. But I'm trying to get this guy Micah Holder, but Arizona State keeps getting in our way. So I'm trying to win these battles, but it's hard, man. It's getting hard out here. Cornerbacks, I was looking at this one JUCO, but it looks like we're gonna lose out to either Texas or Air Force. So, but we could steal Michael Horton away from Texas Christian. Then we got Julian Negretti, I think. He's another gym, so we'll offer him all the NIL that he wants, because the gyms are the guys who are going to develop faster and you know, potentially be better sooner, which is kind of what we need. Then we also got Spencer Dubois. I think he'll be pretty decent. We got a good lead with him. And then safeties, we really don't need any safety, I think, because all the safeties we have are pretty young still. I like to get one at least, but we're kind of behind the 8 ball on a lot of these guys. But I'm not really too pressed about losing out on some safeties. So that was a little mid-season update. I'll see you guys in the postseason. Second half of the season now, we got Washington State, who have a top 5 offense and a top 10 defense. And flat out, this team was just too much for us. We've been decent about containing the run this season, but this team ran the ball all over us. Their running back is a Heisman candidate for a reason. They score with an easy run, and first play of our next drive, Izzy throws a pick. And they get another easy score, so we're already down 14. We finally get a good drive going and start the second quarter, but Ezekiel Garrison coughs it up. Luckily, Wazoo doesn't capitalize off that, but we gotta stop shooting ourselves in the foot when we're already in the hole. We're nearing halftime, and Washington State is looking to score, but they have to go the length of the field in 3 minutes. Should be easy to prevent, right? Well, you would be mistaken for thinking so. Washington State plays it smart, and they managed to score from 23 yards out. Not sure whose assignment that was, or if there was just blown coverage, but come on. We can't let that happen, guys. So it's 24-0 at halftime, and we're just laying an egg out there. Guys like Tyson Parada and Fernando Clay are getting shut down. It's a struggle today. It happens. Finally, we get something, though, and Sawyer Dean punches one in from 5 yards. But that would be all we could do this game. We'd go scoreless, and Washington State would score 2 more times and somehow get a safety. We lose this one 40-7. We were just walloped. And now we got an away game at San Diego State. We're looking to bounce back after they shut us out last year, but the less said about that, the better. The first drive, they get down the field, and they miss a chip shot field goal. Looking like our kicker out there, eh? We're looking to capitalize and score first, but Izzy tosses another pick on his first pass attempt. That's 3 games in a row now with an interception. And of course, when he tosses a pick, the other team always scores. We bounce back and get down the field, just amid a chip shot field goal of our own. It's like I said, not a lot of kick power between these two schools. Second quarter now, San Diego wants to score again, but we get a big sack from Alexander Tellez to make it a 3rd and long. Then the quarterback throws a pick trying to make a play. Could this be our chance to swing the momentum our way? Nope. We go 3-0 and San Diego scores. They get a field goal before halftime and we're down 17-0. Nobody on offense is playing that great today. We're going to try to bounce back in the second half. Our first drive gets off to a hot start with a 45-yard play. Then we top it off with a short run to get our first points of the game. We force San Diego into a 3-and-out and get the ball right back. We build a solid drive, and I think we're finally getting our big break. Then Tyson Parada fumbles on the 18. I'm so frustrated right now because he's already having a rough season, and this is just icing on the cake. That's his 3rd fumble of the season, which shouldn't be happening for a guy with 87 ball security. Alexander Tellez sacks San Diego on their next play. That's his 3rd of the game. So at least someone on our team decided to show up. This leads to a quick possession, but then we muff another punt. Who else but Tyson? That's his 3rd muff punt of the year, and I gotta draw a line. Something has to change. I think it's because his catching rating isn't that great, so I make Zachary McCann our new punt returner. Parada did have that one punt return against Boise State, but now the bad is just far outweighing the good. Of course, San Diego scores, so it's 24-7. We get a field goal to cut the lead to 14. The game is still within reach. We build another solid drive and convert on a 4th down from the goal line to get a touchdown. We get a stop, and a minute 44 left in the game. We have more than enough time to tie it up right now. Izzy links up with Fernando to convert a huge 4th down. We're on the 26. I call a screen pass to get some easy yards, and Ezekiel Garrison fumbles again. That's 2 games in a row now for him, and our 3rd fumble of the game. Any hope for a comeback is now dashed. We lose this one 24-17. But really though, it's more like we beat ourselves with all these turnovers. It's been a rough 3-game stretch for the boys. But we're hoping to right the ship against Utah State, who are having a rough season at 3-5. The only teams they've beaten this year are also having a rough season. Since this team runs the option, they'll maybe throw the ball like 10 times if they're feeling froggy. Makes it easy to game plan around, but they still get whatever they want on the ground. They get a field goal to open the game. Their next drive, they crush us with long runs. They get a couple 15-yard rushes back to back, but once they get to the red zone, their drive comes to a halt. They get another field goal to go up 6-0. Our ensuing drive, we crack off a 21, then a 33-yard play back to back. Utah State decides to start playing defense, and we gotta settle for a field goal. Since Utah State exclusively runs the ball, this first half goes by in a flash. Before we know it, we're scoring again, and it's already the end of the first half. They lead 13-3 going into the third. They get another field goal midway through the quarter. Our offense seems to be struggling again. We get a good play here and there, but then it's followed up by 2 plays that go nowhere. But they should call our team the 4th quarter kings, because once we cross into the 4th, we're like a whole new team. First drive, Izzy hits Tyson Parada for a check down, but Tyson turns it into a 38-yard score. Bro has been having a tough go of things recently, but he's finally getting his mojo back. We need him to. Sawyer Dean can't hold it down as a lone running back. Our next drive, we keep the momentum going and go damn near the length of the field. Izzy finds Ezekiel Garrison for 6 yards to put us up by 1. It's great to see the fumblers from last game redeem themselves. The game's not over yet. Utah State gets the ball at 2:30, but they keep trying to run the ball. They burn through the timeouts really quick and it's 4th and 1. I would have thought they started airing it out by now, but they clearly think otherwise. We could end the game right now if we get a stop, but what do? Prep for the run or the off chance they pass? I kind of do a bit of both, rush 3 and drop everyone back, but it doesn't matter. Their quarterback fumbles and we recover. This game is over. We secured the 17-16 victory. How many 1-point wins is that this season? It doesn't matter, because a win is a win. Now we got Virginia, who have defensive lineman Wade Terrell. Our team must have got a good night's sleep the night before because the offense came out clicking. We get a solid first drive, convert a big 4th down. I just wish we were able to top it off with a touchdown, but a field goal will do. Feels good to get the first points on the board for once. But even our next drives, we were looking good. We were stringing together plays, getting first downs, and we looked in control. Izzy finds Zachary McCann for 15 yards to put us up by 10. Even our defense was clicking. Safety Peter Hinojos forces a pick to open the second, but we can't make anything of it. This time though, this Virginia offense is able to score. This must have inspired them because they get a quick stop, then score again, and suddenly they're up 14-10. It's halftime now, and they carry the energy into the second half. Their offense gives us the work and their defense stonewalls us. Midway through the third, Tyson Parada fumbles again, right on our own 31, giving Virginia amazing field position. We're fortunate though, the defense holds them to a field goal. Opening drive of the 4th quarter, Izzy connects with the receiver Jalen Koch for 51 yards, bringing it all the way down to the 1. We're able to stuff it in and tie it up, but how does the receiver not get that 1 extra yard? We force a 3 and out, and Zachary McCann gets an excellent punt return. Izzy finds Jalen Koch again for a 25-yard score, and we're up by 7. Virginia will respond with a field goal to cut our lead to 4, but that was all she wrote. I think this is probably our best win of the season. We were in control, didn't have to will ourselves into a last-minute comeback, and this was definitely one of the better teams that we have faced this season. Wade Terrell had a good game though. A couple of tackles for a loss and a sack. Last 2 games of the season now, we got Sacramento State up next. This team isn't good, but they're not having a terrible season. Their starting quarterback is hampered with an injury, but he's still going to play. First drive, we get down the field with ease, but we get stopped for a field goal. Second drive, it was more the same. Izzy finds Tyson Alexis for 30, then finds him again for a 9-yard score. The injury must have been bothering Sacramento's QB because he was struggling early. That or our defense was actually defending the pass. Maybe a little bit of both. They couldn't convert after Izzy fumbles on a sack. Instead, they had to settle for a field goal, which we respond with a field goal of our own, keeping our lead at 10. The quarterback seems to find his groove at the end of the first half. They drive and get a field goal right before halftime, so it's 13-6. Both teams get off to a slow start in the second half. They throw a pick near the 50, but we can't do anything with it. Comes another game of punt tennis until Zachary McCann muffs a punt inside the 20. Sacramento is in a prime position to score and tie it up, but our defense comes in clutch and holds them to a field goal. Fourth quarter now, we put together an amazing drive. Izzy finds tight end Corbin Randall for a 12-yard score to cap it off. Next drive, we do the same thing. Tyson Parada punches it in, and Sacramento has no answer. We win this one 27-9. Izzy probably played one of his better games this season, minus that strip sack. Look at the receiver distribution. Everyone got involved. Everyone did their part. It's what you like to see. And now we get the last game of the season. Oregon State. We win this game, and we get our first 8-win season of the rebuild. They're a horrible team, but they have one of the best pass defenses. It's rainy here in Oregon, so passing the ball is going to be difficult anyways. First drive, Sawyer Dean fumbles. That ball must be slippery like a pig. But lucky for us, we hold them to a field goal. And it takes us 3 big plays to get down inside the 5 where Sawyer Dean can punch it in to redeem himself. Next drive, our offense continues with the explosiveness. We barrel down the field in a handful of plays, and Izzy finds Corbin Randall in the end zone for another score. Oregon State starts showing some fight. They get a 30-yard completion to put themselves inside the 10. And 2 plays later, they hit us with an RPO for a score. Our offense continues to look unstoppable though. Izzy leads us down inside the 10 where we get a field goal to go up 7. We get another score right before halftime to go up 14. Our defense locks in for the rest of the game, only allowing a field goal until late in the 4th. We've been coasting along until then, and then Oregon State brings to the juice. They score and get the 2-pointer and make it a 3-point game. With 4 minutes left, this is suddenly a close game. I try to waste as much time as possible, going to the ground often. Then Tyson Parada gets a huge 15-yard rush, and that seals the deal. We win 24-21 to get our 8th victory of the season. For the first time ever, Izzy played great, and Fernando too. Alright, so we've reached the postseason. Our first season under our new offensive coordinator has been a pretty big success. You know, it wasn't perfect by any means, but hey, it was definitely an improvement. We got 8 wins for the first time, and that is a huge deal. It's not like we saw huge improvements across the board, but we did get lucky a lot of these games. Like, how many 1-point games do we have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, we only had 3, but y'all get the point. Like, a lot of these games are pretty close, within 1 score. We saw a bit of improvement from Izzy. He threw more touchdowns, less interceptions, and his completion rating definitely went up a little bit. What's big is that the sacks went down. We were getting sacked way too many times, so that also means our offensive line improved a little bit. For our running backs, we kind of saw the same play that we've been seeing year in and year out. Nothing really stood out. We got to cut down on the fumbles next year, though. Tyson Parada, 6 fumbles is way too many, and only giving us 3 touchdowns and about 4 yards per carry. It's not a good number, to say the least. Yeah, I think we got what we needed out of Sawyer Dean. We have him for 1 more year next year, and I expect him to step up big. I think it's our wide receivers where we saw, the biggest contribution. Like, obviously, Fernando Clay had a monster season. He got off to a roaring hot start, but kind of trailed off to the end of the season. Didn't really see him contribute as much as he did in the beginning. He had a couple good games, but a lot of times he was nowhere to be seen. But that's okay, so we got him for another 2 years. Just imagine how good he's going to be in his senior year. And then I would say our defensive line has always been like the best part of our defense. And that was true this year as well. They stepped up big because our corners cannot cover anything this year. Like I said earlier, we don't have a lot of seniors on this team. So that means that we really haven't seen the peak of this roster just yet. So I'm excited to see how things look next year. But anyways, it's conference championship week. Unfortunately, we're not playing. So we're going to sim this week. We'll get to awards and we'll see how the postseason shapes up. See who's in the playoffs, who's not, and where we're playing for our bowl game. All right, conference champions results. We got Alabama beating Florida, Ohio State beating Wisconsin, Arizona beating Baylor, Clemson upsetting Notre Dame, no longer undefeated. We got Washington State beating San Diego State. We got App State beating Troy. We got Tulane destroying Tulsa. Tulsa's no longer undefeated. Toledo beating Ohio. Ohio's no longer undefeated. We got Air Force beating UNLV. and FIU beating Liberty. Now it's time for the playoff selection show. We were ranked number 53. That's probably our highest finish for the end of the season, but not good enough for the playoffs or the top 25. Without further ado, number 25, we got Florida State at 8-4. Number 24, Air Force, 12-1. We got UCF at 23, South Carolina at 22, Tulsa at 21, Georgia at 20, Virginia Tech at 19, App State at 18, Oklahoma at 17, Kansas State at 16, Duke at 15, Texas A&M at 14, and 13, we got Oregon. So, that's who's out. Now let's see who's in. Number 12, Wisconsin. Vinny Colmack, Quentin Jones, Simone Eddy, they make the cut. Number 11, we got Washington State. Dude, they destroyed us. They have a solid running game. They can make a run. They can make a run, to be honest. But number 10, we got Florida, CC York, leading Florida back to the playoffs. Can they pull this one out this time? We shall see. Number 9, Baylor. Number 8, Penn State. At number 7, Tennessee. At number 6, we got Michigan, JD Mathis in Michigan. Oh, JD Mathis, Khalil Ado, and Zindon Free. They make the playoffs. They are 11-1. They're number 6. Not good enough for a first round bye, but I think they'll be just fine. At number 5, we got Notre Dame. So the first round buys, the top 4 spots, we got Clemson at number 4. Number 3, Arizona at 13-0. At number 2, Ohio State, and I think that leaves Alabama at number 1. So let's see how this bracket looks. We got Baylor versus Penn State, Wisconsin versus Notre Dame, Washington State versus Michigan. Ooh, I would love Michigan to beat up on Washington State. I would love that. And we got Florida at Tennessee. And here we are. New Mexico State at the LA Bowl, UNLV. That'd be kind of interesting because I feel like, both schools are pretty close to LA. One team doesn't really have more of a home field advantage than the other. They're both kind of equidistant. Oh, and UNLV, not really a solid squad. 79-78. So they're probably about on par with us. We can actually win this one. Fuck that. We are going to win this one. Hell yeah. All right, we're at the awards ceremony. We're about to find out who's going to win the Heisman, Defensive Player, Freshman of the Year, who's All-American, and All-Conference. Let's hop right in. So Heisman finalists, we got a quarterback, Roman Doyle, out of Notre Dame. We got a quarterback, Riley Houston, out of Clemson. We got running back, Terrence Meadows, out of Toledo. Quarterback, Ronnie Simpson, out of Baylor. And we got running back, Jackson Young, out of Washington State. And the award goes to quarterback, Riley Houston, out of Clemson. Only 83 overall. That's pretty low for a Heisman winner, but hey, they got the job done. Whatever works, it works. All right, we got anybody who made the finalists. We got CC York. He was 8th. I think that's the second year in a row he finished in the top 10. Defensive Player of the Year. We got defensive lineman out of Texas A&M, Miguel Conrad. Defensive lineman Quentin Dixon out of Clemson. Linebacker Marshall Garon out of Baylor. Defensive lineman Kenneth Lane out of Alabama. And we got cornerback Aiden Turner out of Baylor. And the award goes to, drumroll please, defensive lineman Quentin Dixon out of Clemson. Quentin Dixon out of Clemson. Say that 10 times fast. Freshman of the Year. Finalists are defensive lineman Skylar Caldwell out of Notre Dame. Running back Yahir Henderson out of Tulsa. Wide receiver Samuel Hoover out of TCU. Linebacker Quentin Lim out of Alabama. And quarterback Bryson Yates out of Tulsa. And the award goes to Bryson Yates, quarterback out of Tulsa. And then we didn't have anybody. Okay, I thought we would have had a wide receiver there, maybe. And Coach of the Year goes to the Arizona coach. Did we make the cut? Washington State gets another Coach of the Year. I'm pretty sure they've had one for every year now, which shouldn't happen. But anyways, All-Americans. We didn't have any All-Americans this year. But do we have any of my players here? Third team, we got JD Mathis. Oh, stepped down from last year. He was a tight end of the year last year. But hey, he's still getting some All-American recognition. So can't fault him. And he's the only All-American. That's quite all right. Quite all right. So we did have one All-American, albeit a third team. Oh, but we do have some first team All Pac-12 guys. Let's see who they are. We got Fernando Clay, no doubt. Had a monster season. He should be recognized. He should be recognized. Well deserved. And I'm pretty sure we have Alexander Tellez, defensive lineman of the year. Possibly Pac-12 defensive player of the year. Let's check. We do have Tyson Alexis, second team all freshman. He had a pretty good year in his redshirt freshman year. He might have been our touchdown leader. I could be wrong on that. Oh, what? Dude, I thought Alexander Tellez, our defensive lineman, would have made defensive player of the year. But no, Washington State sweeps the awards. It's bogus. That's so bogus. Why would they give it to him over Tellez? 13 sacks. Do the 2 interceptions, the forced fumble, give it over him? 13 sacks is nothing to sniff at. There's a huge Washington State bias in the Pac-12 awards, and it's disgusting. Okay, now that we're at this point before a bowl game, let's see how my creative players did this season. We got Blake Palmer, nearly 800 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns over the air. Very good season. Washington State 6-6 though. Could have been better. Shane Longley, he made second team All Big 12. He had 65 tackles, 6 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And Cincinnati was 7-5. Zenon Free, only 3 tackles, 2 pass deflections. Probably didn't get a lot of playing time. Then we got Von Nicholas, only 5 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 touchdown though, and 1 pass deflection. He only played 6 games this season though. We got Khalil Doe, 620 yards, 8 touchdowns. Did have a fumble in the season, but Michigan's 11-1. And Isaiah Winnington, 33 tackles, 1 interception, 6 pass deflections. He led Oregon to a 9-3 season, just missing the playoffs. Then Fab Sasser, he was first team All Sun Belt, 32 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. But Louisiana was 5-7. Zay Winston had 34 receptions, 368 yards. Minnesota 7-5. Austin Zerbo, 41 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections. Still boggles my mind he went to ECU because they were 3-9 in the season. He could have been for Virginia Tech, who was still ranked. I don't know why he left. This guy be one of the biggest goofs of all time. But you reap what you sow. We got Vinny Colmack, 49 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 pass deflections. Wisconsin's in the playoffs. They're 10-3. Roman Peeler finally got some playing time, 32 tackles, 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Syracuse is 7-5. Noel Tucker, Alabama's 13-0, number 1 seed. So everyone has to be contributing. And he did 45 tackles, 1 sack. Hayden Benson in his first season as a starter, 3,700 yards, 55% on his passes, 19 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, and 41 sacks. That's a rough stat line. But New Mexico's 4-8. That might be the best season they've had since we started this rebuild. Boyd Delaney, ooh. Unfortunately, he's dealing with an injury. Probably cut his season short. Actually, no, he did play 12 games, so he might be okay. 3,111 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Jordy Stiff, ooh, also dealing with the injury. Looks like he missed out on just 1 game. 28 receptions, 436 yards, 1 touchdown. Finally got in some playing time. Then Wade Terrell, 52 tackles, 6 sacks. Virginia 7-5. Simonetti didn't get playing time. Orlando King, 18 tackles, 1 touchdown. Winston Hickson, 78 receptions, 652 yards, and 1 touchdown. Nebraska 7-5. Preston Silk, first team All Big Ten wide receiver. Hell yeah, dude. 58 receptions, 686 yards, 5 touchdowns. Let's go. He was a contributor. And then Quentin Jones, 755 yards, 10 touchdowns. Not bad. Not bad, dude. Deion Indra still didn't get any playing time this year. Griffin Young, 365 yards, 1 touchdown. Oh, but UC Davis is 0-12, bro. Transfer, please. Please transfer, dude. Your talent's being wasted. Come on now. Russ Castillo looks like he got in there in some garbage time. Only 2 passes, 19 yards. Hopefully he can break through. Transfer somewhere else, dude. Please get some playing time. You deserve it. Carl Rhodes, only 9 games played this year, 6 tackles, but Arizona is 13-0. Moses Douglas, 18 tackles, 2 receptions, Old Dominion is 5-7, way better than the 1-11 season they had last year. And then Chris Davis, he's also been dealing with an injury. I think pretty much all season. Only 7 games played, 31 tackles. Chris Morris, 1,000 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Didn't get any all Pac-12 nods. Too bad. That's okay. CC York, 3,566 yards, 23 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Florida's 10-3, and he was the SEC Player of the Year. Let's go, dude. Kai Mobley, he had 39 tackles for us. Pretty solid. I think that might be down from previous years. No, it's actually up from previous years. He just didn't get any sacks this year or any interceptions or anything else. Not my creative player, but Hector Farley had a pretty good season. I might have been dumb for letting him go. JD Mathis, like I said earlier, 3rd-team All-American tight end, 530 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Hunter Doobie didn't even scratch 2,000 yards. 61% on his passes, not bad. 11 touchdowns, 11 interceptions though. 2 touchdowns on the ground. Georgia 7-5. I'm sure that's not where they want to be. Now we get the LA Bowl versus UNLV. Before diving into this game, I couldn't help but feel a way about this team. They're 10-3, but their talent level isn't that different than ours. They're in the Mountain West Conference, we're in the Pac-12. The Mountain West is clearly a lot worse talent-wise, so I wonder if we would see a lot more success year in and year out if this was our conference. We'd probably be further along in this rebuild if we were. New Mexico State isn't the Conference USA in real life, so I'm not sure how they ended up in the Pac-12 here. Changing conferences could be something that we explore when it's time for conference realignment. Anyways, we're looking to get our first bowl win here, but UNLV scores in literally 2 plays on their first drive. What the fuck? While they got off to a hot start, we take a much slower approach to our first drive. We're like ice to their fire. We take our time getting down the field and cap off the drive with a 2-yard rush from Sawyer Dean. A few possessions later, Carlos Connor gets tackled for a loss of 3. I immediately bench him. This is not a game for our 3rd stringers to fuck up. We need our best guys out there only. UNLV with the ball now. Alexander Tellez gets his 14th sack of the year. Then their QB tosses a pick trying to make a play, to which we immediately score with a 14-yard pass to Fernando Clay. It's 14-7 at halftime. Both teams get off to a slow start to open the second. Then Tyson Parada scores from 10 yards out with 6 minutes left in the third. Tellez gets his 15th sack of the year, but UNLV scores for the first time since the beginning of the first quarter. They then get a field goal or drive later to cut our lead to 4, but not before Tellez gets another sack. UNLV gets the ball back with 3 minutes left and probably one last chance to score. But our defense throws up a brick wall, and we force the running Rebels to go 4 and out. Tyson Parada scores from 4 yards out to ice the game, and we get our first bowl victory and our 9th win of the season. Izzy's numbers may not jump off the page, but he played solid for his last collegiate game. Sawyer Dean was solid, and Fernando too. Kai Mobley also. He was all over the place, wreaking havoc on defense. Alright, so we're here at National Championship Week. We sim through the rest of the playoffs, and we got Michigan going against Penn State. We got an 8 seed versus a 6 seed. I think Michigan's got this one. They've been steamrolling through the playoffs so far. Look at this, 37-3 against Washington State. 35-16 against number 3 Arizona. They had a close one against Tennessee, but it still looked pretty good. I think JD Mathis had an incredible game. Or he's on a tear right now. Yeah. 8 receptions, 115 yards. No touchdowns though, but a great game against Washington State. And Michigan also held Washington State to 79 total yards. 79 total yards. Look at this. The quarterback was 1 of 15 for 2 yards. That's horrible. That's so bad. Oh my god. Even we put up more of a fight against Michigan than Washington State did. Granted, that was a year ago, but still. And I think JD Mathis had a good game against Arizona as well. Yeah, another 6 receptions, 124 yards. No touchdowns still, but still. Hopefully he can carry that over into the national championship. So we're going to send him through this week, get to the end of the season, then we'll start the off season. And unfortunately, Michigan cannot carry the momentum. Penn State wins 30-27. What happened? What happened? It's a certified classic game. So it's really must have been really back and forth. JD Mathis still had a good game. 7 receptions, 108 yards. Still had a pretty damn good game. Looks like it was all air. No ground game, really. At least for Michigan. So what happened with Khalil Ado? -4 yards. Wow. He got a touchdown, though. He got a touchdown somehow. So Penn State is our national championship for this season. And so we finished at 48. I think that's our best finish for a season, like thus far. So we have obviously one of our best seasons, 9-4. And now the fan base is on board. It went from a C to a B, dude. That means we're going to get better turnouts in games, which will help for recruit visits. But they are a volatile community. So once things start going bad, that's going to sway the other direction. But yeah, it says they're blown away this year. Honestly, me too. Me too. So we get 2 upgrades this year for all our success. I kind of want to put 1 to defense, 1 to recruiting. But I also kind of want to put both into recruiting. I feel like I need to put a little something into my defense. That'll just make it run a little bit better. So I'll do that, and then 1 into recruiting. I think that's fine. And then we get a new skill badge. So I have all these badges. I either like blitz pickup artist. It gives us a 25% chance to reveal blitz after we line up, and it gives +5 quarterback IQ on all blitz plays. So making our quarterback smarter on blitz plays. It's definitely something that we could improve on because I feel like our quarterbacks get sacked a lot. Then I'm also looking at quarterback whisperer, which gives all our quarterbacks +2 on arm strength and accuracy. I think I'm gonna lean the quarterback whisperer, just giving our quarterbacks just like a slight boost. Gonna help out because as it looks right now, I think I'm gonna ride with Lincoln Phillips as our quarterback for next year. He's a dual threat guy, so he can run, but all his passing abilities could definitely use a boost. I'm really hoping he develops like past 75 at the very minimum, because I really don't want to have to go out and get another quarterback in the transfer portal. But I don't think we have enough money in NIL to really like splurge on a quarterback, or at least a decent one at that. We also get a boost for our offensive coordinator. He's a decent recruiter as is, so I think I'm going to put it into training so we can help development a little bit. Okay, we're in contract negotiations. So we're locked in. So is our offensive coordinator, but looks like our defensive coordinator maybe wants to move on. It says he's refusing to renegotiate at this point, so maybe he's looking elsewhere. I wouldn't completely mind if he left, but he's also been kind of decent for us. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, okay. So Leonardo Celestine, our defensive coordinator, wants to go to Troy for whatever reason. Wants to go to Troy. I mean, they're 11-3, 9-0 in conference play. So yeah, I guess they are a better school. They're 6 prestige. So maybe it is definitely a better offer. Let's see who we could possibly go out and get. So maybe there's someone better. What are they offering? They're offering him 3 years, $550K. The problem is though, is that Celestine is a really good recruiter, and we're definitely gonna miss that. I don't think we're gonna get someone who's as good as a recruiter as he is. But his training kind of definitely could improve. There's Caden Ferguson from Coastal Carolina who has 7s across the board, which isn't bad. But the issue with him is that he's kind of old at 57. It's not terribly old, but he's going to regress more than he progresses. But I'm also just not seeing a guy that I really like that much. Like, there's Hector Barber from Bowling Green State, who is kind of decent. 9 defense play calling, 9 recruiting. But his training isn't that great. I don't know. I think I'm talking myself into getting Caden Ferguson. I think he complements us pretty well. We're just going to offer him a 2-year contract. We're not going to, with no like guarantee or anything that locks him in. Well, it'll be like a trial run almost. So yeah, we got Caden Ferguson. Welcome to the team. Welcome. Our coaching might have regressed after losing Celestine, but we're gonna give Caden, a shot. See what he can do. Oh, all the Washington State coaches left. That's cool. Head coach and defense coordinator went to Auburn. OC went to Clemson, but Washington State gets Clemson's OC. Are these guys good at all though? Like, are they good? The new head coach doesn't seem bad. The new offensive coordinator doesn't seem bad either. And the new defensive coordinator though seems like he's not so good. So these are all our players leaving. Israel Bennett, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure having you. But he's looking like he's not going to get drafted. He could go in the later rounds. He didn't really show me that he was an NFL quarterback, unfortunately. This is what our roster is going to look like now before all our incoming freshmen and transfers come in. So I think in the transfer portal, In the transfer portal, I wouldn't mind getting another like number 2 wide receiver behind Fernando Clay, but it looks like we got a good group of guys, you know, to back him up. So wide receivers, we'll put a pin in. And then tight ends, you know, we could always use another tight end. Our group of guys just don't look great at all. I think offensive line, I might want to get one. Kicker, I mean, I guess we could use a kicker, but I really don't feel like, you know, putting in resources to get a kicker from the transfer portal. Defensive line, we could definitely use a transfer or two, I think. 100% actually. Because there's a big drop off after our first 2 guys. We're gonna be looking at wide receivers, tight ends, offensive, defensive line, and linebackers. Maybe quarterback if there's one. But like I said, I don't feel like putting a lot of resources to get a quarterback because we knew how much Izzy cost. He was $3.5 million. Luckily, we had that money and then some to get some guys. But right now, we're working with about just over 2.5. So any quarterback in the transfer portal that's actually worth his salt, it's going to be pricey. We're at the pro draft now, and CeCe York goes number 1, and Hunter Doobie goes number 2. Wow, incredible. Both my players back to back. That's awesome, dude. CeCe York, man, he came a long way. Like I said before, he was a 2-star recruit, and he starts from pretty much day 1. That's a true underdog story right there. Now he's the first overall pick. Hunter Doobie's number 2. You know, he didn't really have crazy, you know, stats. It's really, I guess he's more of like a potential guy because his stats don't really jump off the page. You know, 30 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, nearly 1,000 yards rushing over his 2 years being a starter, and 10 touchdowns. So I bet they see him as like an Anthony Richardson type player. But you know, hopefully he pans out better. JD Mathis goes number 6. I was really hoping he would go like number 1, possibly. A tight end going number 1 would be kind of crazy. Oh, Shane Longley, he won the 5th round, pick 19. Noel Tucker got drafted, also in the 5th round, pick 20. Boyd Delaney won the 3rd round, pick 24. Shane Longley and Noel Tucker, they got drafted back to back. I feel like they both probably could have benefited from staying one more year. Like Noel Tucker, definitely, because he didn't really have that great of a season. 49 tackles, only 2 sacks. I feel like they definitely could have been like drafted higher if they just had stayed. Oh, looks like Russ Castillo wants to transfer. Finally, dude, I told him. You gotta leave. You gotta leave. I feel like he might want to go to like San Diego State. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Maybe he wants to come here. We're kind of in that pipeline. He's from California. That'd be kind of cool if he wants to come here. I would welcome him. I would welcome him. Okay, so we're in off-season recruiting right now. We're gonna see what kind of transfers we're looking at. See who wants to come here. And okay, look at that. We got a 77 overall offensive lineman. Definitely gonna add him. 76 overall safety. We don't really need a safety that much. But I won't count him out, but I'm not gonna add him to our list. Then we have a 71 overall lineman from Oklahoma. We'll add him as well too. Ooh, so we do have a couple quarterbacks that want to come here. Carl Fung from Minnesota, Edward Rivers. I'll add them. I don't know what kind of, you know, NIL deals they're looking for. Because if they want a lot, I'm not going to give it to them. Because wide receivers, we got Frank Clay from New Mexico. Dude, we could pair up Fernando Clay and Frank Clay, our top 2 receivers, both Clays. That'd be kind of nutty. But I'm with it. This guy, Casey Baptiste from Boise State, he's a freshman, redshirt freshman, 70 overall. We probably wouldn't have to spend a lot to get him, so we'll add him too. Tight ends is not really the best group of guys here. I mean, we'll add this guy, Travis Henson from Boise State. He's a redshirt freshman. He could develop to be somewhat decent. Alvin Ware, I don't think there's really much of a point to try to go get him. 66 overall as a junior. He's not going to play at all. It looks like Elias Aparicio and Jesse Kruger are the only really 2 good offensive linemen that want to come play here. So we're not really going to devote any other of our resources into these other 3 guys because they're not good at all. Kickers where it could get kind of interesting. Do any of these guys actually have a good leg? Kind of like Jeremiah Saunders a little bit. I'll add him, but I'm not going to go too hard for him. Then defensive lineman, there's nobody there. Wow. There's a bunch of freshmen here, though. I feel like they'd be kind of cheap to go after. So I'll add them, but I'm not going to put too much time or assets into them. Cornerbacks, I don't really want cornerback. Maybe there's like a cheap one we can go get. So I think we'll do that. Add these like 75 or under guys. See if we can go get them. All right, so we'll go ahead and offer Frank Clay and Casey Baptiste. What kind of NIL are we looking at? Oh, he wants 1.25 million. I don't think we can offer that to him. What about this Casey guy? Even him, he wants like 500K. That's still a lot. So we'll circle back to those guys. This Travis Henson dude really shouldn't need a lot of convincing. I doubt Oregon State will go too hard for him. So I think I do want to ball out for these linemen. I think that's what I would rather do. But even then, they don't want that much. So I'll offer him 600K. These like 70 and below defensive linemen, I'm not going to put any NIL money towards them. If they want NIL money, then they can go get it elsewhere. This Jordan Martinez guy, he might want some NIL. It looks like it. Give him 540. See where that gets us. I wouldn't be too upset if we lost out on Frank. If he wants to go elsewhere, I don't want to offer him however much he wants. He wants at least like 900,000, and we don't have that. We'll stick with Casey Baptiste. He could be a good depth piece. Oh, that means we're not going to land any of these quarterbacks. I'll offer both of them and see like what they want in NIL. Yeah, he wants at least 3 million, Carter Funk, and he wants at least 2.75 million, and we just don't have that money to offer these guys. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do for transfers. I'm gonna save this 900K to offer to more guys to bolster their NIL deals if other teams come in and start, you know, putting some pressure. So that's just what we're gonna save for leftovers. So I'm gonna finish offseason recruiting, and then we'll touch back when we get to signing day, see who we got, who we missed out on. All right, it's signing day. We're gonna look at our transfer haul and then take a look at our final recruiting haul for the season. So Trenton Blevins, he is an incoming freshman, but he waited till signing day to, you know, make a decision, but we got him. He is a gem, so he should be good in a couple of years. Next, all right, first transfer, Elias Aparicio, the offensive lineman from Georgia, who we need. We'll see. And we got him. Let's go. Let's go. That's huge. Jesse Kruger, offensive lineman from Oklahoma. He's loyal, so I'm surprised he left. Okay, he's a redshirt freshman. Let's see. Did we get him? And we got him. Let's go. Edward Rivers. Oh, I forgot to mention. So on day 3, I saw Edward Rivers, the quarterback from Arizona State. He was unoffered. No NIL deals from any other team. So I'm like, all right, screw it. Let's go get him. Let's offer him. So we got a quarterback for the next, dang, what? He's 2 years. He's a redshirt sophomore, and for free too. Pretty much for free. We didn't offer him anything. This is a huge get. Dual threat quarterback. He's got a decent arm too. That quarterback IQ could use, could use a little boost, but he got good speed, good ball carrier vision. Frank Clay, I gave up on, so he's going to UTEP, so we can't pair the two Clays together. Would have been fun. Would have been really cool to see, but unfortunately, we're not going to have a Clay duo. Casey Baptiste, I don't think we got him. No, he's going to New Mexico. Travis Henson, there wasn't really much of a battle. We were the only team to offer him, so we got a backup tight end. Jeremiah Saunders, the kicker from Arizona. Did we get him? And yes, we did. All right, we actually got a kicker with a decent leg, so we should be all right in the kicking department. Carter Minor, defensive lineman. We were uncontested, so we got him. That's an easy get. He should be a good little depth piece. Jordan Martinez, ooh, cornerback from Delaware. I don't know if we got him. We'll see. Oh, we did. Let's go. Let's go. I threw just enough NIL at him, so that's a nice little cornerback depth piece right there. Drew Lopez, I went back and saw that there was this running back. I think we were the only team he was interested in, so I'm like, all right, why not? That's an easy pickup. Good depth piece. I think he'll be like our number 3 guy. He's got decent running, decent catching ability. We could honestly probably switch him to wide receiver. Yeah, I would say that's a decent little haul right there. That's a decent little haul right there. So our recruiting class is looking pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. Quarterback, I did switch lanes a little bit. We got this guy named John Sturdivant, because the other guy, Keith Corbin, that we were looking at, New Mexico swooped in. and offered him, and he got enticed. So we got this guy, which I'm not too upset about. Field generals are pretty good quarterbacks. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over a lot. But now we don't have to worry about that because Edward Rivers is going to be our new quarterback for the next 2 years. Then running back, we got Jude Lopez for pretty much for free. We got him for 3 more years, and then we got Trent Mills coming in, who should be a decent power back in a couple of years. Wide receivers, we got one guy, Emmett Gonzalez. He could be like the 6th stringer that gets in a little bit. I don't know. He could develop, be like a day 1 player. And now we got a decent tight end. He's a good blocker, not really a great catcher, but that's okay. And then we got Willie Little coming in. We'll probably redshirt him off rip. And we got 2 offensive linemen play right away. And we got Armando Porter, who's a JUCO guy, who we could probably also play right away as well. Recruiting offensive linemen this year was a little bit of a struggle. But then we got Jeremiah Saunders, the transfer from Arizona. He'll probably be our kicker and our punter right away. And defensive linemen, so we had a decent crop of guys. Carter Minor, Michael Holder was a athlete, but we switched him to we signed him to linebacker, and he should be a heavy hitter. Tackling is already at 76. Good block shatter. Could be a good pass rushing guy. And then cornerbacks, we got a decent amount of cornerbacks this year. I didn't even notice. We got the transfer Jordan Martinez from Delaware. We got Micah Horton, who could be a day 1 contributor as well as Julian Negretti, who was a gym. Safeties we didn't really do too well in. Might be our best recruiting class, like so far. Most like robust, I would say. We got a few guys in each position everywhere. Definitely the most robust transfer class, I would say. We got a lot of transfers this year, which I like. Hey, look at this. Our prestige went up. Let's go. Now 4-star prestige, cool. We went from a 2 to a 4. Kind of took a minute, but hey, slowly but surely. Let's go, man. Hell yeah. So we're looking at the budget for this year now. We're going to max out our NIL as always. So I think it went up a little bit because it used to be 7 million. Now we're at 9 million. For everything else, we're just going to spend to cover the maintenance and see how much we're left over. Look at this. We gained a booster. Lorenzo Viswanathan. I hope I said that right. I don't know if I did. Probably not. But he's interested in pass offense, and luckily we got a lot of that. So we gain a new booster, which means we'll get more money. All right, so we're getting locked into these 2 rivalry games, and we got 4 home games and 8 away games. All right, so we need some more. We need a home game. We can do a home game against Washington and go up against Blake Palmer. He'd probably run all over us. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go against Washington, and we'll get to play Blake Palmer, and that brings us to 5 home games, 7 away games. It's first stretch of games. That is a absolute gauntlet. I really wish we weren't locked into these stupid rivalry games in New Mexico and UTEP. That's even more reason why we should be in the Mountain West Conference. Because they're in the Mountain West Conference, they're both in the Mountain West, and we get locked into these stupid rivalry games. It really doesn't allow me to play around with the schedule more. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, we're in the preseason for season 6. But I just wanted to show you guys what our team is looking like before we wrap this video up. The quarterback, we got Edward Rivers. He's going to be running the show now. He is a redshirt junior, so we have him for 2 years. Running backs, we got Sawyer Dean, Tyson Parada, Jude Lopez, Carlos Connor, who I think are going to be running the show. We could have a big running back rotation this year, which would be kind of cool to see, but it's also kind of nice to keep it short to give more guys touches. Our wide receiver room looks mostly the same this year. You know, we're expecting Fernando Clay just to pick up where he left off last season, just have an incredible season. Maybe he could possibly be an All-American. That would be really cool to see. We're going to go for it. From the tight ends, I don't know. Our tight end room's never really been great, but maybe this one might be our best yet. And then our offensive line isn't looking bad. It's looking a little better from where it was last year. Our new transfer should help out our rotation a little bit for sure. And then we should see some development for some other guys. And this year, I'm finally excited to have a decent kicker for once. We got Jeremiah Saunders, who could probably be our kicker and our punter this year. But he's got some good power, so maybe we'll finally be able to kick from past the 35 with effect. Hopefully, we can make some extra points too. Maybe I could have gone harder for the defensive linemen in the transfer portal because our defensive line kind of looks like the worst it's ever been. Like, this defensive line rotation does not look good. Maybe we'll get some good development for some guys. We still have our offseason gains to go through, but we won't cover that in this video. We'll cover that in the next video for season 6. Then our linebacker room. Oh, we had a lot of seniors in our linebacker room, so maybe we could have looked at a transfer or two. And then cornerbacks, we have like 14 cornerbacks, and we really only need 7. But we are crossing our fingers that our cornerbacks will be a lot better than last year, because I think we probably have one of the worst pass defenses. Nobody could cover anybody, which sucked. We got a lot of seniors here too. That's weird. We go from a young team last year to being an old team now. Crazy how it happened in 1 year. Yeah, that's what our team is looking like. It's looking exciting. I'm excited for a new quarterback. I'm excited for our offense to take off. Excited to see what our new defense coordinator can do. If he can, carry the torch from our last guy. So that'll do it for season 5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and consider subscribing for more. Hopefully season 6, we can carry off our momentum. Maybe finish another 8-win season. That'd be kind of cool. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it in the next video. If you guys want to check out more videos in the series, I'll leave that in the corner over here. Or if you want to see some more content from me, I'll leave that in the corner right here. So once again, thank y'all for watching. I'm Sam Lebaski. So y'all take it easy, dudes. I'll catch y'all in season 6.